He saw telephone user, camera user, mobile phone user, internet user. They all have this problem, right? So this is what is the product, in other words. So if you write a business plan or proposal, this becomes what is the product. Then who has the problem is your market search or market analysis. That's your market. You're defining your market. Yeah. So iPhone, for example, passes this one. What is the problem? It also passes gloriously who has the problem, because it's a huge market. Lots and lots of people are waiting to see such a product. It was not existing. That you also have to keep it. You had to bring this product, bring this idea to the market. So then the next question is, how is the problem solved? Most likely, whatever problem you have thought of has already an answer in the market. Most likely it exists. You perhaps do not know it, but it exists. So most likely it will not survive. How is the problem solved? So for example, for iPhone, you ask this question, how is the problem solved? Your answers are mobile phone, telephone, internet, computer, desktop, and all this. So that means the problem is still not solved. Beautiful book of Blue Ocean. What is Blue Ocean? Talked of making competition obsolete. So that means passing third test. What did they say? They said that you look at the industry. For example, perhaps have seen circus, right? Or maybe you have not seen circus. So there was circus, for example, and then there were also very fancy shows, fancy, like with lights and all, which are like the variety show, popular in Europe, right? So it's also there here, in some extent less, but it is there. So these guys, a group of young guys like you, came up with the idea and studied this. And they said the problem with this circus is only senior generation people, they are going to the circus because these animals and this and that, it's not really friendly, they don't feel comfortable. So young people stopped going to the circus. And these variety shows are mostly for the senior and the old people. So they asked the question, these are the pain points. Can I remove these pain points? And when they removed these pain points, they created what became a later much nice, not perhaps no for your age, the Cirque du Soleil. This was a fantastic innovation which had all the elements of circus, all the elements of variety show, and it was neat, and people bought it, right? So that means you have to identify the pain points, your problem. Avoid that, how is the problem solved? To avoid or pass this question or this test, how is the problem solved? There's another thing. For example, wine. I'm giving these examples from Blue Ocean, by the way. If you have interest, you can read. Nice book. Very nice. So the second thing was with wines. Now wines became so rich and so complex that young people or simple-minded people, they were feeling scared to drink wines because it was rich, complex. You have to know the aroma, you have to know the note, you have to know the hint of caffeine, whatever is there, then with a slight oaky touch and with a finish. So all these arcane words, means difficult words, made wine very intimate. And on the other hand, the price point was so classification of wine and price of wine. These two were the pain points. Bunch of young guys from Australia, they identified this. And they wanted to bring back young people wine drinking. What did they do? They killed these. They started selling wines as red wine and white wine. That's it. No varietal, nothing, just red wine, white wine. And because they were from Australia, they put a kangaroo picture No seal, nothing, just a big yellowtail kangaroo. That was their logo. It was jumping out of the bottle. And then the United States young people first picked it up because it was such a nice drink. They could go to the bar, they could go to the places, drink this, and then this whole dimension of complexity was removed. It brought in new customers, brought in new users in there. And the ease that it brought in was another thing. So these are two case studies just to tell you how is the problem solved, how you can pass it. That's how they created new business. And this is how blue oceans are created, meaning that you make competition obsolete. So you don't compete. Your competition is just obsolete. You're not competing at all with anybody because your product definition is such that you do not have any. That's what, how do it better. That's the fourth. So the wine guys did it by simplifying. Cirque du Soleil guys did it by also simplifying. iPhone guys, of course, did by creating a totally new thing. It was not out there. Okay? So now what you have to do, you have to think of problems. I know you are tired, but think of problems in a simple way. Take a piece of paper and write down what are the problems. What are the problems that you can think of? And don't confine yourself to social problems. Because of course there are social solutions. So for example, some solutions are social solutions, but try to use science in it. And in this way, you can also frame project problems, scientific project problems. And you can do it by running it this innovation funnel. So once you write down what is the problem, then have a discussion or argument whether this has somebody who still has the problem, then how is the problem solved? If someone says no, it's solved, then you say how is it solved? Then try to kill your idea, and then finally how do you do better? You come to your own idea. Okay, so you do it, and when you do this, there will be, I expect, or I believe there might be heated discussions. So that's where you try to apply your communications thing, what I said you in your my last lecture, right? So you merge this together. You have already felt the heat when we proposed a grouping without your permission. And that's also another way to look at it. That means there is resistance, that you don't want to do it. But we will do it in a similar way, but not giving the groups like what has been given. Could have been done that way, but we would request you now not to move from your seat and have 6 partners in there how you are sitting. That will form the groups. Okay, so 6 people together, not hopefully after this reshuffling idea, maybe people moved away from friends. The idea is not to sit with your friend. The idea is you make new friends. Okay, so with this, I will stop. And before you start moving, you should not move. This is frozen. And then that's the group. But before you start, I request Kari to say a few words on this, and then we can start with the innovation exercise. Thank you. And then we will go around and we'll do it. So it's like a game.
Okay, yes, I will be very quick because, of course, I'm not an expert like he is on these innovation things. But that is really I will keep a different aspect on this iPhone. I fully agree with this kind of a thing that if you are able to follow this and apply it to also the scientific problem. The idea of what is the problem? It could be scientific, capturing something, or creating a cancer drug, or doing anything like this. Approach this in a project way. You will not create a company or anything or product, but from that the solution The final one there is a solution for develop that the product way of solving something. And I can tell you the story what happened with Nokia and iPhone. This also is a very absolutely true what Sean was saying, that Steve Jobs was a very clever guy on doing this touch phones and merging. But actually Nokia already had a touch phone. Nokia already had an iPad. They had millions of innovations. The guys had done a huge work there on background. But then the point in there is that the big bosses there who were on top of these clever guys didn't believe this. And now there is a museum of unpublished Nokia invention. And all these things what we now have, which are now iPhone products, were done by Nokia. They never get passed through because somebody was blocking. You are lucky in that sense that when you group and pray that we will not block your ideas. But in companies, when you do this, they are doing the same thing, of course, all the time inside companies do this. Because this is the process of developing things. But the point there, if there will be a too large gap with the innovative guys who have the new and crazy ideas, then there would be persons up on their upper side, they don't believe. And that is the idea why many of these really the great innovations have been rediscovered, but over 10, 20 years later, because at that time nobody believed. So that is the idea that have strange ideas, develop strange things, think orthogonally, think out of the box, present these things, because it might be that sometimes they're true, sometimes they are not, always miss a hit and so on. But as was saying, it was really like a learning process. You learn at the same time what is happening. So that's the idea. That is the other side of the innovation. The actual idea of the innovation can be a solution to something. That means that it's not a repetition of already known. It's not like a continuum of something and there is a solution. Not like a mathematical equation. Start from something and then you do it at the end. No. The innovation there is like a quantum leap, something of this comes out, something new. And then you can call it an innovation. Also solution, something new way of solving things can be also. It is. But this same applies. You can really do this and try to apply both things, the communication skills, this is the primary thing, and then what to do with the communication skills. Try to develop. Now, of course, the idea target is look for some kind of a project, mini idea, and try to develop this. How is this? Look first for what is the problem. You can't say there is no problems. There's always problems, and that's the idea. But of course, it doesn't have to be a problem. It might be an intriguing interest. Then you solve it. That's the idea. But I think with these, it's already 3:30, so I think now it's time for to go in there and then round. Okay, now that's the case.
So the way how you are sitting, be there in that way, and Tausif and Nidhi and Kari, we will go around helping you. So the idea is there are 36 people, I guess, and so each group will comprise of 6 persons, and you can choose a name for your own group, whatever you want, and then come up at the end of 1 hour with a presentation. So from 45 minutes to 1 hour, you try to finish it off, because within 1 hour, you should be ready with your presentation. Presentation means we will give you chart papers. And in these chart papers, you will sketch your idea. And that's the whole scope. So you can make space for yourself because there are empty places in front row. So please come to the front row. 6 people at a go. So the way how you are sitting, you can sit like that and in groups of 6. So the time starts now. You make your group and then we will continue and we will come to you. Thank you.
to direct the sunlight towards the required area, which is usually dark at night, or for a particular purpose, such as a large scale construction is going on, where a dam or like, for example, railway tracks are being, which needs 24-hour efforts, but due to certain things like darkness, animal issues, and everything, it's not usually held. But with this, we can direct sunlight into that particular area, and their 24-hour construction or the work can be going on without any hassle. The problem which we are solving, this thing can also be used in a particular society or areas, urban or suburban areas, where there is a lack of habitable land. Like in today's world, the major problem is lack of habitable land. So with this thing, uh, we are replacing the street lights and everything. And the second is e-waste. Electronic waste is a like major contributor in today's world. So with this, we are in small run, it won't be that much efficient, but in long run, like 3 to 4 decades, will surely help us to reduce the electronic waste. And the thing is, most of our electrical like lights and street lights, it depends on non-renewable sources of energy. So we are replacing that with a renewable source, that is sunlight. The problem like remote plane where remote place where electricity can't reach, like villages or very remote areas where construction needs to be done, or the or there were projects which need constant light, and urban areas with less land availability. And we are solving it with integrating large number of small reflective satellites with high precision instruments, so that we can light up a particular area, not a whole city or a whole thing as of all. And how to get it better? See, not to lit a whole city, but rather to do it where it is required and use a very high precision, so that it won't harm the natural balance between day and.
So if you have any questions, you can also ask, right? So from the audience. Yes. Introduce your name and then ask the question.
I am Priyaraj. To have a satellite point at a one, first you have to launch the satellites, and the satellite work also uh, the Earth.
uh,
So how uh, comes? How is it?
the satellite will run using solar fuel and that thing. It won't be very short or like very long, but for 5 to 6 decades, it can run constant.
How can? Why does it? The solar energy. Why? How is it better using it?
I think it's a good question, but he has also answered it in a way. So in view of time, we are taking one question. Because otherwise, I think short, brief one. So let me join in thanking Entropy Unleashed Artificial Moon. It's a good idea. Thank you.
Now, I would like to call the next team Bio Boosters. How many speakers have you got? Okay. Yeah, you are going to get time, 5 minutes, and beep at 4. Okay.
Okay. Hello, Professor Kari. Hello, sir. Respected Halder sir, Sir Roy, and all my dear friends and seniors. So we are a team of 6 people. They're from various colleges from Kolkata, and I'm Dibbajyoti. I'm from ISER Kolkata, 22, 23 RMS. So our team is bio boosters. So what we have thought to work on is a cure to bed sore infections. So this idea has come in my mind a few months ago when in the month of July when my grandmother passed away, and before she passed away, before 1 month of her death, she was kind of paralyzed, and she was suffering from bed sore, and I could see infections on her back. So when I came back to college after my vacation, uh, I saw the IGEM project that our college team was working on, and they were working on genetically engineered E. coli bacteria, which works as antimicrobial agent. And it basically they developed a product where they were trying to like solve the problem of bad smell in shoes by fighting against the microbial growth that happens at the shoe. So what I talked to their team, and during that time I talked to their team after their presentations, after they came from Paris after winning a gold in that event. So I talked to them about its application in bed sore, and yes, it is possible to apply the same thing in bed sore. What we need is a little more extent of R&D. So what we came across is, yes, so how bed sore comes with a lot of risk of infection, and in most of the cases where the patient is very elderly and not able to walk, and there is a very high risk of infections. So uh, the problem is seen among coma patients and people who are like uh, who are bedridden post surgery, and wheelchair users. So how is the problem solved? As I said, it is a genetically engineered bacteria. How? So how do we do it better? Like, is it do we have the bacteria and it is going to work? No. So we already have a lot of solution to these problems in market, like different types of chemicals. Most of the times it is handled mechanically by nursing the patient. So how we are planning, so I have also thought about, like, very recently during the chemistry departmental day in our college, I have seen Professor Shyam Gupta's team working on emulsions. Emulsions, they made emulsions using shola is a very popular thing, a popular plant product available in West Bengal, which is very cheap, and they were making emulsions using it. So we can use the same emulsion and use this genetically engineered bacteria in that emulsion, and we can make it publicly available so that it can be applied on the back of the patient, and like it will work like magic, and we can get rid of bed sore based infections. So uh, I think this can be made a viable product, and yeah, this can work. That's our problem and the solution. Thank you. Any questions? Okay,
Do
so
we have any questions in the audience?
so
Very quick question. So have
yes,
you
sir.
thought about the life cycle of this
Yes,
type
sir.
of solutions?
Actually, what happens is, I have noted it because I'm not a biology guy. So, yes, there is since we are using bacteria, so there is a mechanism called quorum sensing, where basically like a bacteria population control mechanism is used. So, since we are using bacteria, so as we are using the emulsion, so it is already ensured that the bacteria is localized, and there is certain a mechanism called bacterial population control mechanism, so it can be used so that the bacteria life cycle can design it according to our need.
Okay, thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
the catalyst.
Who's going to be the speaker? Are there two speakers?
Everyone. Catalyst. And we are the catalyst for everyone. Lot of safety followed. There are many traditional defense already that will strength and naturally have it. Not be uncomfortable for us to work alone. Safety should be powerful and within reach. Design a table, watch and corporate that will make the safety about the watch feature that will tell. Thank you.
Oh, hello, am I audible? Good evening, everybody. I'm Priya. So we know that wearables are used by everybody almost present everywhere. What we have planned, you design an app and a accompanying band. That is like in today's wearables, you can change the bands easily. And so first I will talk about the software. So what we'll use the machine learning to study the general pattern of the day-to-day activity. What is the heart rate? What is the breathing pattern? What is the uh, anxiety level in general day-to-day lives? And then we'll gather data from cases of abduction, uh, and like that will have a remarkable change in elevated heart rate, higher breathing rate, so on and so on. We have so on, and this has been like already known that it is being measured by the watches. Like Apple Watch has the crash detection features that can send to uh, your contacts when you're crashing. We'll use that feature in our app, and I will add a band. This band in which we'll have a EMP device. So what we in the short period of time, what we searched that we can have a directed EMP device, can like disable all the electronic configuration, electronic nearby except your own. So we'll use that, and we'll use the smartphone screen and loud noise to have a kind of a blinding effect and a loud noise to inform the surrounding people, and the blindness, temporary blindness, can be used to get away from the attacker if required. And as usual, it will send it to the nearby police station and the nearby people in your contacts about your if you have any problems. So this is the general idea, and it will be easy to implement because it will just go into all smartphones. They are just via software app, and the drawbacks is that we have to. It will take some time to get used to the actual environment, and it might give some false positive. Have a manual activation by pressing the power button 2 times, something like that, and we'll have a override method. That's all. Thank you.
I am Shailen Mon. Uh, the watch is chargeable or not?
Yeah, it is the watch that is available like general public. Like we are not making the watch itself. We are making the band that is just a that will use the power from the watch and the software. So the watch that is available, like the Apple Watch or the Samsung Watch, that watch only. So this is a software, so we can like use ad revenue, and for the band, the general, like the EMP device should not cost much because it's just a pulse of electricity that is just a capacitor. We'll try to make it affordable, exact cost.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot to the Catalyst crew. Next we have Sim Ed Links. Please be on stage. Who's going to be the speaker? Are there one speaker? Speakers. Second speaker?
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Rupok Shorkar, a BSMS student from Isaac, and our project based on the simulation-based idea. At first, come name CMED links. Sim means simulation. It means education. Links. Problems in our state. In our state, we in the higher secondary level, there will be not a proper lab or experience. So we think that may them virtual labs by simulation where we handle experimental apertures and doing experience. And there also been there also we wish store the data some store the data. Then
So I am continuing the talk. It's basically supposed to be an app or a software, just like OLX2 has shown. What it would do, majority of schools or underpaid institutes, they don't have proper labs or certain reagents, certain expensive reagents. So we are aiming to create a software which would emulate or rather simulate a virtual space where we can do chemical experiments or in future physical or biological experiments with the help of a program, of a integrated program. So there would be reagents available, apparatus available, and students can perform those expensive type program experiments which they cannot normally because of lack of reagents or lack of infrastructure. Myself, I've come from a school where at HS level our labs did not have proper reagents, and due to the COVID batch, we didn't even have proper practical exams. So I missed out on that completely. And when I got into college, it was a whole new experience for me. But for such students who want to perform experiments on their own, this app or software would be very much helpful, as it has specifically a special kind of function where other people can add their, it's like a public usage library where when other students are performing some kind of experiment, you and I or anyone else can access those and see what they have done, and apply your own reaction conditions or change the reagents, and that's all. It's just an app.
Do you have any questions from the audience?
We already have a lot of platforms where we can watch different experiments. Like when I don't get an experiment in the college or in school, when I was in school, I used to go and search it up, and there were literally a lot of videos and other stuff that is available online that I can look up to. Why should I particularly download this thing? I mean, what extra am I getting out of it?
So thing is that it's not you're just not watching the video. You can perform the experiment. You're gonna you're gonna have a hands-on experience on.
It's not hands on.
It's not it's not hands-on in the general sense, but you can add the reagents, apparatus.
It's like a game, you mean to
It's like a
say?
game where you can set the conditions and see what happen when it's YouTube. They are having a right thing. They have added 5 ml of and 10 ml of that. You can't. So the change monitor your.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Semed Links. So next up, we have 1 to 5 a.m. Please be on stage. How many speakers? Not two.
Hello.
Speaker. Are you going to switch? Switch speaker. Please move in front of the podium.
So a very good evening, everyone, and I will thank Professor Kari for hearing us, and of course our HOD and Professor Roy to give us the opportunity for presenting something very special and new. So, as we are 1, 2, 3, and 5, so we named after our group that 1 to 5 a.m. and it represents that we can provide our service that at night 1 to 5 a.m. So how can we provide? So there are a lot of groups have been presented that they are experimenting some things, and there are a lot of the night owls who are students, and they read a lot of things in night, and of course the workers who are working at night. So how they can survive without food? You can guess by seeing my tummy that I am a foodie person. So after working so hard and after reading something very interesting, I will look for food, right? So the people who are suffering or hungry for food at night, and of course who are suffering or who are looking for medicines at night, so we will provide them at night up to 1 to 5 a.m. So with me, this I will speak something special for you, and especially for looking rural areas. This is not a direct science. We can't say this, but if you see, cooking chemistry is of course a science. Of course medicine is related to science. So after all, we can say that up to 1 to 5 a.m. we can do something special, including science or cooking chemistry. So we can provide food at very cheap or at very discount rupees with to you, and especially for the rural areas. And we will service or provide medicines for the people who are suffering from various kind of diseases, or mainly for women who are very fevered or feeling illness during their pregnancy period, or somehow they are someone or some family member who are they are not present in their home, then we can provide them services like that. So uh, the rest of the part will explain Disa with me. So please.
Okay, so as you can see, 1 to 5, it's basically telling you the hours at which we will work. That is 1 to 5 a.m. Now, you might think, how is it different from Blinkit, Zomato, and other stuff that you have available? It's because they are not really accessible to you at 4 a.m. in the morning. You might think they are accessible, but they are not. So, we are specifically designed for that time of the night when I am awake, and people like us who are awake, we are night owls. I don't sleep at night. So, which is why we developed this app. Also, the interesting thing is becoming the middleman for your odd jobs. That means we are starting with food and medicine, but we will try to become your middleman. For example, if you want to connect to, say, suppose paramedics or hospital, whatsoever, we'll try to expand into those fields, Basically, we'll be like your insurance company. You call us and we will connect you to the people that you exactly need if you can't connect to them at that time of the night. So we are like the middle person, somebody through which you access to different stuff. So this is the basic idea of what we want to do. Yeah, it's an app. Thank you.
Any comments? Okay. So now, because we are running short of time, I'd like to call upon stage the next team, Water Hyacinth. Who's going to be?
Good afternoon. As we all know, water is life. So we are talking about causes water pollution. The aquatic water hyacinth, also known as the terror of Bengal. Uh, what is the problem with water hyacinth? Causes water blockage. The oxygen level of the water, which causes drinking water contamination. Challenges with water hyacinth grows very rapidly, spreads very easily. Regarding the solution, the water hyacinth contains the various amount of cellulose in it, so we can convert it biodiesel or biofuel. Can since contains very much fibers in it, convert it to paper and textile, which our everyday life. It also purifies water, so we can wastewater treatment.
So that brings the end to our entrepreneurship workshop. So I would like to call upon stage Dr. Somojit Roy to please do concluding remark.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I think you enjoyed and you had a feel of how you can implement the thought process of communicating and then improvising and innovating. Very nice presented it quite nicely. So this brings us to the close of this innovation workshop. And now we have certain formalities to. There is absolutely no loser. So everyone wins and everyone will get a small token from us. So I would like to ask now and Shubham the concluding part and carry on with the next final session of this school. So it has been a great experience. Thank you all.
All the I will come to the Swagata. Ash, they
Polami Patnaik, K. Raj Pal, Musfika Khatun, Yasha Tiwari, Aritra Das,
Shubham Roy, Nidhi Kumari, Rimpa Haldar, S.K. Osman Goni, Dipanjan Patra, Usib Al Amin, Samin Akhtar, Hokan Manna, Nurina Khatun, Teresa Chakraborty, Darren Mondal,
Sarah
Rochita Das, Ayantik Guha, Lisa Mighty, Rivu Dan, Fahim SK, Soma Biswas, Soma Biswas, Palak Chand Bhattat, Jasmine Desbora, Kingsuk Patra, Kingsuk Patra, Priya Se, Trisha Roy, Lopamudra Saha, Nesa Devnath,
Mari,
Anirban Kumar Maiti, Dibyajyoti Das, Sheikh Usman Goni,
Bham Banerjee, Kun Manna,
Rimpa Haldar, Amin Akhtar, Kingsuk Mondol,
Okay, now now we have had the certificates and we very close to kind of it. Have has been a pleasure. Has been, and I was really impressed about your project. How you managed an hour get a really nice fancy ideas. Remember, I told think out of the box, and you did really out of the box. So fancy ideas. Some are really real life. Some are more practical. That's essence of nicest different ideas from the sky down. I've had enjoyable time. Remember, spent learning something new, science. Never know. Some of you might see yourselves birds.
Well said, there is.
Birds
Yes.
with it.
I would like to call our PCS HOD, Dr. Devasis Haldar, to be on stage to say a few words. Thank you.
So, Sir Kolkata, very much. I hope and let us try and success. And also, thanks to thank you very much.
I would like to call upon stage right, to say us to thanking.
So good afternoon, everyone. So it was a true pleasure, and I hope that you got the essence of this GAN course wanted to have. Kari talking about basics and teaching clearly from building it up till the use of X and Mercury, how to plot the structure. Very beautiful course material that has been heard lectures by Professor Banerjee, Das, and Professor Kal, and also aspect of application. And then finally, wanted to have an idea because everything is nice if the application at this, and I was the high level have done even in such a short period of time. So with this, I would like to and of course, I am doing the difficult task now. Of thanks. So first of all, I would like to thank IICR Kolkata, the director of IICR Kolkata, Professor Are, for the unstated support, helping us to organize and get this GIAN program, and also GIAN author, and of course, Ashish Haldar from the DCS chair for really providing us with whatever we, and of course, Professor Kari Risanen for coming all the way and giving us nice present, really be there in all the lectures and all the time. And then I would like to thank my members who have really done an excellent job. And I would request you to give them a hand of applause because this was really nice. Without them, and I would also like to mention the name of Tom because Tom has really taken time from his classes off and Nidhi and Tosh, Kokon and Onirban, they were background, but it was really, really nice. And SMC, Computer Center, and all others there, and of course for making the program success. So with this, I close GAN program for Supramolecular, for a short course, Crystallography and Soft-Oxometalates. And of course, I would like to gratitude the GIAN author, others, and Doiro Ashish. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a round of applause because everything is possible and this GIAN course.
Environment and flowers, dogs. I saw a lot of these dogs. That's up there. I was surprised about. Thanks again. I will remember this. I hope.
Everyone, please remember that there are two feedback forms. Okay. So you need to fill up two forms. Make sure that each and every one of you have got and received forms.